I am not defending Jackie Hill Perry's belief or teaching or book. I don't believe anybody has been delivered from homosexuality. I don't believe anybody has been saved from homosexuality. I don't believe Jesus is out here saving people from being gay. I think what she teaches is wrong and harmful. And I believe she shouldn't be trolled and dehumanized.
I've barely been on here. I've been minding my business. I've been trying to work out my salvation with fear and trembling. I've been going through and doing the most. Okay. But there's this stuff happening on Threads in light of Pride Month where a young lady, I think, because I ain't looking at the profile pictures, I don't know, but they were like, Happy Pride Month, Jackie Hill Perry. So now there's all this discourse about my testimony, my story, if I'm gay, how I dress, stuff like that. And Satan is always doing something, but God is always doing more. So when stuff like that happens, one, because it's so random to me, that it makes me say, okay, God, what are you up to? What are you trying to do? Because God is always, always, always able to turn what was meant for evil into good.
Get on my nerves. I love you, but you get on my nerves. Here we go again with the Jackie Hill Perry conversation. So because it's Pride Month, y'all want to talk about who Jackie Hill Perry's sleeping with again, when it's obvious, real obvious, that she's sleeping with her husband, who's a whole man. She's sleeping with a person who's a whole man. You know how I know this? Because they got a whole basketball team worth of children. You know? But let's put that aside. That y'all are idly obsessed with homosexuality. It's getting weird. Because there are quite a few sexual sins. Quite a few. I mean, you can look at Leviticus, you can 1 Corinthians, you look at Romans, like, read your word. And whether you think homosexuality is a sin or not, that's between you and God. Okay? But y'all standing here arguing about how one person is convicted when you're still laid up with your raggedy, beady-haired man that you're not married to, while you still at that buffet. Going back 2 and 3 times, participating in gluttonous behavior. Why you lying on your taxes? Why you cheating on them tests and them people's exams?
Only getting at the trolling. I'm only getting at the degrading and the dehumanizing. I'm not at all suggesting that we suffer the terrible teachings of people silently and just be like, that's it. But the other part, and I'm going to end on this, the other part is the nuance that I just mentioned in the last slide, the nuance of where she is in Christianity. And that's what people are missing. And I understand why they're missing it, because they have never been in that level or that depth of Christianity. I have, right? And this is no like boast or, oh, I'm better than anybody else, but there are swimmers and then there is Michael Phelps. Unless you've been Michael Phelps, it's really hard to understand that level of swimming. And when you've been in that level of Christianity, like I have 2 seminary degrees, like Christianity and Jesus and the Bible were my life source, like where you live, breathe, eat, sleep this thing. Like when Paul says to live is Christ and to die is gain, like we believe that.
Hill Perry has responded to y'all heathens about the whole thing about Happy Pride Month and all these things. But in that video, I think it was about 7 minutes, go on her page and look at it. She stated that the disciples and Jesus, when people brought things upon them that were against them, that were that could have, got them persecuted or slander, they made sure that the people that were accused them understood that it's not about them and their life. They always brought it back to the Father, to God, to love, to who God is. And that's how Jackie did in her video. And it made me really think like, hey, maybe one of the ways the enemy does deceive us is keeping us so focused in our pride, in our self-realization, self-actualization, or whatever you want to call it, self-care, whatever, where we only care about ourselves and we only care about proving ourselves. And like she said, you don't have to prove who you are. She doesn't have to prove who she is. If she told you that that's what she do, that's what she do.
So apparently people in the world are attacking Jackie Hill Perry on Threads or whatever. And I saw a comment on the video I just stitched that was saying that she openly admitted that she still finds herself attracted to women, even though she is living a heterosexual lifestyle and she submitted her life to God. And I think the issue is when we teach deliverance, we don't teach it in a way that actually makes it realistic, right? We teach it as if, oh, all of your old desires are washed away and you never struggle with them again and they never pop back up or anything like that. And ultimately, I don't see that as biblically true for all the sins, right? And the reason I say that is because there are certain things that everyone is susceptible to by nature, meaning your innate nature is to be susceptible to said sin. And I've talked about it before. There are instances in the Bible, Paul, namely, where he's got this thorn in his side, right? And he talks about, I got this thorn in my side and I asked God to remove it. And instead of him removing it, he said, my grace is sufficient. And what we don't teach is that that thorn in the side coincides with the scripture where Paul also says in Romans, "O wicked man that I am, who will save me from this body of sin?"
I don't know
because what I want
was going on Threads with Jackie Hill Perry, but yesterday was the first day of Pride Month, and someone posted, Happy Pride Month to Jackie Hill Perry, demeaning her, mocking her testimony, obviously, and whatnot. And it went viral. So a bunch of people are either mocking Jackie, making fun of her, or a bunch of people are defending her, right? And I had this thought, I would bet money, if I were a betting man, that the majority of people who are mocking Jackie, who make fun of her because of her testimony, or demean the deliverance that God gave her, I would bet money that the majority of those people are doing that because they themselves at some point asked God to deliver them from something, potentially that same thing, and they didn't get the result they wanted.
For a community that talks about gender expression not always being sexual orientation, why are they always coming for Jackie Hill Perry? And I understand you don't want to believe in someone's testimony of salvation, but there are plenty of women who are straight that are tomboys and dress a certain kind of way. Just because someone doesn't look your stereotypical way doesn't mean anything. So the community that's supposed to be about love and acceptance is a hypocrite.
The enemy scheme, he raises up people to mock and to ridicule, and what some people would call persecute. But he also is bringing attention to people who are carrying actual truth. And so that's when you don't lead with offense, you lead with intercession. So when I saw the post, I immediately started praying. Like, Lord, you are able to save and illuminate and change and convict in the strangest ways. And so